Riverbend was a town where most days passed quietly. The streets were clean, the shops small, and people greeted each other with simple nods. Nothing big ever happened there, and that was how most residents liked it. The community center sat near the edge of town, painted white with a blue roof. It was a place where children played sports, parents waited on benches, and volunteers helped keep things running smoothly. On this afternoon, the gym was filled with noise from a basketball practice. Teenagers ran across the floor, shoes squeaking, voices echoing. Near the wall, a girl named Lily sat on a wooden bench. She held her backpack on her lap and watched the clock. She was waiting for her younger brother, who was still practicing. Lily was 14 years old. She was quiet but confident, with a habit of thinking before she spoke. Her father had taught her to stay calm in difficult moments. She followed rules, but she also believed in fairness. As practice ended, kids began to leave the gym. A volunteer named Karen stood near the exit. Karen liked control. She believed rules should never be questioned, even when they were unclear. That day, she had already argued with two parents about parking spaces. When Lily stood up to leave, Karen stopped her. Karen pointed at Lily's bag and said it looked too full. She asked Lily what was inside. Lily answered politely that it held books, clothes, and her lunchbox. Karen said she needed to check the bag. Lily agreed to open it. Karen looked inside and found nothing unusual. Instead of ending the matter, Karen frowned. She said Lily might be hiding something on her person and demanded a search that made Lily uncomfortable. Lily felt her stomach tighten. She took a step back and spoke calmly. She said she did not agree and wanted her parent present. She explained that she had done nothing wrong. Karen's face turned red. She raised her voice so others could hear. She accused Lily of being disrespectful. She said refusal meant guilt. Parents nearby stopped talking. A few looked uneasy. One mother whispered that this did not feel right. Still, no one stepped forward. Lily stood still. Her hands shook slightly, but her voice remained steady. She repeated that she would not agree to anything inappropriate and asked Karen to call her father. Karen crossed her arms. She said Lily was causing trouble and needed to be taught a lesson. Instead of following proper steps, Karen pulled out her phone and called emergency services. Her voice was sharp as she spoke. She told the operator that a teenager was refusing to cooperate and acting suspicious. She demanded police response. Lily felt fear then, but she did not cry. She reminded herself of what her father had taught her. Stay calm. Speak clearly. Trust the truth. Across town, the sheriff's office was quiet. Sheriff Adam sat at his desk reading reports. He had served Riverbend for many years. People respected him because he listened before acting. He believed that authority came with responsibility. The dispatcher walked in and shared details of the call. A complaint at the community center. A minor involved. No mention of danger or crime. Adam leaned back in his chair. Something about the report felt wrong. He asked more questions. The dispatcher repeated what Karen had said. Adam stood up. He grabbed his jacket and keys. He decided to respond personally. He did not know yet that the girl was his daughter, but he sensed misuse of power. At the community center, Karen continued pacing. She felt proud, convinced she was doing the right thing. She imagined officers arriving and backing her up. Lily sat back down on the bench. She held her phone but did not call anyone. She trusted that someone would listen soon. Outside, a patrol vehicle pulled into the parking lot. The sound of the engine drew attention. Karen straightened her posture. The door opened, and Sheriff Adam stepped out. Lily looked up. Her heart skipped. She recognized her father immediately. Adam scanned the room before moving forward. His eyes met Lily's for a brief moment. He did not smile. He did not react. He remained professional. Karen rushed toward him and began speaking quickly. She explained her version of the story, pointing at Lily as if she were the problem. Adam listened without interrupting. Then he turned his attention to Lily. He asked her calmly what had happened. Lily stood up and explained everything clearly. She spoke with respect. She explained that she had cooperated until the request crossed a line. The room grew quiet. Adam nodded slowly. Karen's confidence began to fade. And that was when she realized something was very wrong. The room felt heavy after Lily finished speaking. Parents, children, and volunteers all stood still. No one wanted to say the wrong thing. Sheriff Adam looked around slowly. He noticed the worried faces of the parents and the confused looks of the children. He then looked back at Karen. Karen cleared her throat and crossed her arms again. She tried to appear confident, but her voice was less steady than before. She repeated that Lily had refused instructions and that refusal was suspicious. She said rules were rules and had to be followed. Adam asked a simple question. He asked what rule allowed such a request without a parent present. Karen hesitated. She spoke about safety and authority, but she could not name any written rule. Adam nodded and asked to see the community center policy. A supervisor brought a printed folder. Adam read it carefully. The policy clearly stated that any personal check of a minor required a parent or guardian and proper cause. Karen's face grew pale. Adam spoke calmly, but his words were firm. He explained that Lily had acted correctly. She had agreed to a bag check and refused a request that crossed boundaries. He said refusal in such a situation was not guilt but awareness. Some parents nodded. One father spoke up and said he had felt uncomfortable watching the situation. Another mother said her own child had once been treated harshly by the same volunteer, but she had stayed quiet. Karen tried to interrupt, but Adam raised his hand gently. He said everyone would be heard, but one at a time. Adam then turned to Lily. He asked her if she felt safe. Lily answered honestly. She said she had been scared but had stayed calm. She said she only wanted respect. Adam thanked her for speaking clearly. Karen finally noticed the way Lily and the sheriff stood near each other. She narrowed her eyes and asked how they knew each other. Adam answered calmly. He said Lily was his daughter. A quiet wave moved through the room. Whispers followed. Karen took a step back. Her face showed shock, then anger, then fear. She said it did not matter who Lily's father was. She claimed she would have done the same for any child. Adam agreed that rules should apply equally. He said that was exactly why he was concerned. He explained that calling emergency services without cause wasted resources and caused unnecessary fear. He said authority should protect people, not pressure them. Karen tried to defend herself. She said she was only doing her duty. Adam asked her to explain why she did not call Lily's parents first or follow policy. Karen had no answer. Adam asked the supervisor to note the incident. He said there would be a review of volunteer conduct. He made it clear that this was not punishment but accountability. Karen's voice dropped. She said she felt targeted. Adam replied that fairness was not targeting. It was responsibility. He then addressed the room. He reminded everyone that children should feel safe in public spaces. He encouraged parents to speak up when something felt wrong. Lily's younger brother ran over and hugged her. She smiled weakly and held him close. Adam knelt beside Lily and spoke softly. He asked if she wanted to go home. Lily nodded. As they walked toward the exit, Karen called out. She said this was unfair and that Lily had caused trouble. Adam stopped and turned around. He said calmly that Lily had done nothing wrong. He said standing up for oneself was not trouble. Outside, the air felt lighter. Lily took a deep breath. In the parking lot, parents began talking openly. Some shared stories they had kept quiet for too long. The supervisor listened carefully and took notes. Inside, Karen sat alone on a bench. The confidence she once felt was gone. She stared at the floor, realizing that control without care leads to consequences. At the sheriff's vehicle, Adam opened the door for Lily. He looked at her with pride, not because she was his daughter, but because she had acted with strength and respect. As they drove away, Lily asked if she had done the right thing. Adam smiled gently and said yes. Back at the community center, change had already begun. And the town of Riverbend would not forget that day. The next morning, Riverbend felt different. News traveled fast in small towns, not through loud reports but through quiet conversations. At the bakery, people spoke in low voices. At the school gate, parents exchanged looks of understanding. What happened at the community center had opened many eyes. Sheriff Adam arrived at his office early. He believed fairness did not end when emotions settled. It continued with action. He asked for a full report from the dispatcher and requested written statements from everyone present at the center. Lily stayed home that morning. Adam wanted her to rest and feel safe. She sat by the window reading, but her mind kept returning to the day before. She wondered if people blamed her. She wondered if Karen was angry. Adam called the community center supervisor and scheduled a formal review. He made it clear that the process would be calm and respectful. No shouting. No blame without proof. At noon, Karen walked into the sheriff's office. Her steps were slow. She no longer looked proud. She carried a folder of papers and kept her eyes low. Adam invited her to sit. He spoke evenly. He asked her to explain her actions in detail. Karen talked about her fear of rule breaking. She said she believed strict control kept order. As she spoke, Adam listened carefully and took notes. When she finished, Adam asked if she understood how her actions made Lily feel. Karen paused. For the first time, she seemed unsure. She said she had not thought about it that way. Adam explained that safety and respect must work together. He said fear should never guide decisions involving children. Karen nodded slowly. Later that day, Adam met with parents who had been present. One by one, they shared stories. Some spoke of moments when they felt uncomfortable but stayed silent. Others spoke of times they wished someone had stepped in. Adam thanked them. He told them their voices mattered. That evening, the town council announced a public meeting at the community hall. The topic was youth safety and volunteer responsibility. The room filled quickly. Parents, teens, and staff took seats. Adam stood at the front. He did not mention names. He spoke about trust. He spoke about boundaries. He reminded everyone that authority should serve the community. Lily attended with her father. She sat quietly near the back. Some people smiled at her kindly. Others nodded with respect. When the floor opened for discussion, a young boy stood and spoke about feeling scared when adults shouted. A mother talked about teaching children to speak up. The room listened. Karen sat near the side. She listened too. Each story seemed to weigh on her. At the end of the meeting, new guidelines were announced. Volunteers would receive training. Clear steps would be posted. Parents would be informed of all actions involving their children. The meeting ended with applause. As people left, Karen approached Lily and Adam. Her voice was soft. She apologized to Lily. She said she had been wrong. Lily listened. She did not smile, but she nodded. She said she hoped things would change. Karen thanked her and walked away. That night, Lily slept peacefully for the first time since the incident. Riverbend returned to its quiet ways, but something important had shifted. People were listening now. A week passed, and Riverbend slowly settled into a new rhythm. The community center reopened with fresh posters on the walls. Each poster explained rules in clear language. Parents noticed the change right away. Volunteers greeted families with warmer smiles. Children seemed more relaxed. Lily returned to her normal routine. She went back to school and joined her brother at the center again. The first day back felt strange. She held her backpack close and looked around carefully. A new volunteer welcomed her and asked how her day was. The kindness surprised her, and it helped her breathe easier. Sheriff Adam continued his work as usual. He knew that real change required patience. He checked in with the center often, not as a leader showing power, but as a neighbor offering support. He reminded staff that questions were welcome and concerns should be shared early. Karen did not return to volunteering right away. She had chosen to step back for a while. She spent her days thinking about what had happened. She read the new guidelines and attended training sessions offered by the town. For the first time, she listened more than she spoke. One afternoon, Lily's school held an assembly about personal boundaries and speaking up. Teachers used simple words and shared clear examples. Students were encouraged to ask questions. Lily raised her hand and spoke about staying calm and asking for help when something felt wrong. Her voice was steady. Her classmates listened closely. After the assembly, several students thanked her. One girl said she felt braver after hearing Lily speak. Lily smiled, feeling lighter than she had in days. At the community center, a parent committee formed. They met weekly to review safety practices. Adam attended the first meeting, then stepped back to let parents lead. He believed trust grew when people shared responsibility. The committee suggested open hours where parents could observe activities freely. They also suggested clear signs listing who to contact if concerns arose. The supervisor welcomed these ideas and put them into action. Karen attended one of the meetings as a guest. She sat quietly and took notes. When asked to share, she admitted she had confused control with care. She said she was learning to pause and listen. The room remained calm. No one judged her. They focused on moving forward. Later that evening, Karen saw Lily and her brother playing near the entrance. She hesitated, then approached with respect. She asked Lily how school was going. Lily answered politely. The moment was brief but meaningful. At home, Lily talked with her father about the changes. Adam listened and smiled. He told her that communities grow stronger when people learn from mistakes. A local paper wrote a short piece about new safety efforts in Riverbend. It did not name anyone. It focused on cooperation and awareness. Readers praised the town for handling the situation with care. As days turned into weeks, the tension faded. Laughter returned to the gym. Parents chatted freely. Children felt seen. One evening, a small celebration was held at the center. It was not for any single person, but for the idea of trust. There were simple snacks and music. Families gathered and talked. Lily played a game with her brother while Adam spoke with neighbors. Karen arrived quietly and helped set up chairs. No one stopped her. She worked carefully and followed the new steps. When the event ended, she helped clean up and thanked the supervisor. As the lights dimmed, Lily looked around the room. She realized that speaking up had not broken the town. It had helped it heal. Riverbend was still quiet, but it was wiser now. Months passed, and Riverbend continued to grow in small but meaningful ways. The changes that began at the community center spread to other places in town. Schools updated their rules. Clubs reviewed their practices. Conversations about respect became normal, not uncomfortable. Lily grew stronger with time. She no longer felt nervous walking into the community center. She helped younger children find their way to activities and reminded them gently to speak up if something felt wrong. People saw her as a calm leader, even though she never asked for that role. Sheriff Adam watched these changes with quiet pride. He knew that real leadership was not loud. It showed itself through trust and consistency. He continued his work with the same care as always, treating every person fairly, no matter who they were. Karen completed her training and asked to return as a volunteer. The supervisor agreed, but with clear expectations. Karen accepted them without argument. She understood now that authority meant service, not control. On her first day back, Karen worked beside another volunteer. She followed procedures carefully and spoke kindly to children and parents. When a young boy hesitated to answer a question, she waited patiently and smiled. The moment showed how much she had changed. One afternoon, a small issue arose at the center. A child misplaced a personal item and became upset. Instead of reacting quickly, Karen asked the supervisor for guidance. Together, they solved the problem calmly. Parents noticed and appreciated the approach. Lily observed from a distance. She felt relief. She did not hold anger. She believed people could learn if they chose to. At school, Lily was invited to join a student group focused on peer support. She agreed. The group met weekly and talked about listening and kindness. Lily shared her experience carefully, focusing on lessons rather than blame. The town council later invited Adam to speak about community trust. He spoke simply. He said that rules were important, but respect gave rules meaning. He reminded everyone that children deserved to feel safe and heard. Riverbend's story reached nearby towns. Visitors came to learn about the changes. Adam welcomed them and shared resources freely. He believed that progress should be shared, not kept. One evening, the community center hosted a youth event. The gym was filled with laughter and movement. Parents sat on benches, relaxed and chatting. Volunteers moved calmly, guiding and helping. Lily stood near the door, watching her brother play. Karen walked over and thanked Lily again for her courage. Lily smiled this time and said she hoped they could all keep learning. As the night ended, Adam joined his daughter. He asked how she felt. Lily said she felt proud of the town. The lights turned off one by one. The doors closed quietly. Riverbend remained a small town, but its people had learned something lasting. When voices are heard, trust grows. When respect leads, fear fades. And that lesson stayed with them, guiding their future.